Hey, it's Corey, and today you're gonna learn how to play I've Had the Time of My Life from Dirty Dancing. This is a super fun tune. We did change the key to make the chords a little bit more accessible for a beginner. So let's just jump into it and look at the chords we're gonna need to play today. The first chord you're gonna need is an A major chord. You're gonna take your first finger, place that on the first fret, third string, and then take your second finger, place it on the fourth string, second fret. Next, you're gonna need a B minor chord. Now, this is probably the most tricky chord in this song, but it's actually pretty easy to play, and here's how you do it. Take your first finger and you're gonna bar all across strings 1 through 4 on the second fret. Take your thumb, place it right behind that fret on the back of the neck of the uke. That way you're gonna give a lot of support. Really focus on strings 1 because that's probably where you're going to get the most issues because that's where you're gonna have the least pressure. So just make sure to focus on that while setting up your shape. You're then gonna take your second finger and place that right on top of your first finger to give it extra support. It's going to really kind of ensure that you play all those strings and you're squeezing them enough so that when you strum, each string is going to sound correct. Then you're gonna take your third string and place that on the 4th fret, 4th string. After that, we have a C major, which is just your third finger placed on the first string of the 3rd fret. Next, we have the D major chord, which is probably one of the most common chords we're gonna be using throughout this song, and it's all going to be on strings 4, 3, and 2. You're gonna take your first finger, place it on string 4, your second finger is gonna go on string 3, and then your third finger is gonna go on string 2, all on the 2nd fret. We also have an F major chord. That's going to be your first finger played on the 2nd string, 1st fret, and then your second finger placed on the 4th string, 2nd fret. And finally, to round out the song, we have a G major chord, and that's going to be your first finger played on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, then your second finger is going to go on the 1st string, 2nd fret, and your third finger is going to go down to the 3rd fret, 2nd string. A lot of the chords in this song require full lifts, which can be pretty tricky for transitions. One place, for example, is when transitioning from your G chord to your A chord. If you notice, you share the 3rd string. It's not in the same position, but you can just slide that right up and use it as an anchoring point. That way you don't do a full lift and possibly miss a string, because a lot of times when you have a song that has both F and A in it, sometimes beginner players can switch the two on accident and accidentally play an A when they really mean to play an F. So that's a good place for that G to the A, where if you remember that all you're doing is sliding one back to the 1st fret, you can keep your finger on that same string. Another place that makes it a little bit easier for transition that you wouldn't really initially think about is actually moving from your D chord to your B minor chord. Notice it's all really using that 2nd fret quite heavily. So by changing from a D major to then shifting and moving your finger down, you already have your first finger in that position from being in your D. So you can just pivot and then slap that second finger down and put your third to get into that B minor position as well. For the other chords, it's just going to be about really making sure you have the muscle memory to support being able to transition. Luckily though, we actually have pretty long transitions, meaning that you're not going to be changing chords too often and you'll have enough time to work up to it. So once you're really comfortable with those chords, then let's take a look at the strumming patterns we're going to be using for this song. As I said before, we're going to be really utilizing just playing on the chord change. This is going to happen in both the intro section and in the second to last chorus section. So for the intro, for instance, you're going to have this. Now I've had the time of my life. The full strumming pattern we have for today, and I'm just going to demonstrate this on a D because that's where we start the song. When playing it is going to be a down, up, down, down, up, down, down, down. So again, that is down, then up, down, down, up, down, down, down. All together, it sounds like this. There are some times where you could throw in an additional up at the end of the strumming pattern, creating a down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. Slower, that would be a down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. By adding an occasional up, This kind of adds a little bit of extra punctuation to the strumming pattern, which makes it pretty fun. Most of the time, you're gonna be playing the strumming pattern 2 times per chord. That's gonna be true in the verses as well in the pre-chorus section, but when we get to the chorus, we'll be moving to a pattern of playing for 1 strumming pattern for each chord, except for on the C majors. That chorus will sound like this, for instance. I had the time of my life, though I never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. On that final chorus before we go into the outro where we do a fade out, you're just going to be playing on the chord change like we did in the intro section. There are 2 places where we're going to be playing the strumming pattern a little bit longer on a chord before we transition into different parts. The first time that this happens will be in the intro section when we first get to that D major when we're playing the strumming pattern. We're going to play 4 strumming patterns for that section. Then we're also going to do the same thing when we get to the end of the first chorus. In addition, you have an optional interlude that you could do as well. I'll be taking that interlude in the play along, but just so that you know, that interlude is just repeating what we're doing in the chorus of the D to B minor to C major, where you're gonna be playing each of those chords for 1 strumming pattern, except for on the C where you play it for 2. We'll play that entire little progression twice and then just move right back into that chorus where we play just on the chord change. This interlude section is replacing where you hear that like killer saxophone solo in the original recording. We're not taking that. However, you could repeat this interlude as many times as you want if you were ever playing with another instrument that wanted to tackle that solo. Those are all the parts we need for the song, so let's just give it a play along. That way you can see everything put together or use it for your own practice too. 1, 2, here we go. Now I had the time of my life. No, I've never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you, 'cause I've had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you. I've been waiting for so long, now I finally found someone to stand by me. We saw the writing on the wall as we felt this magical fantasy. Now with passion in our eyes, there's no way we could disguise it secretly. So we take each other's hands, 'cause we seem to understand urgency. Just remember, you're the one thing that I can't get enough of. So I'll tell you something, this could be love, because I've had the time of my life. No, I've never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. With my body and soul, I want you more than you'll ever know. So we'll just let it go, don't be afraid to lose control. Yes, I know what's on your mind when you say, stay with me tonight. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you, 'cause I've had the time of my life. No, I've never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you, 'cause I've had the time of my life, and I'll search through every open door till I found the truth, and I owe it all to you, 'cause I've had the time of my life. No, I've never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you, 'cause and it just ends in a fade out. I hope you guys found this tutorial for I've Had the Time of My Life from Dirty Dancing helpful. If you did, consider giving it a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I come out with weekly videos that teach you about music, mostly ukulele, but also general theory and practice tips and things that you can apply across a variety of instruments. But if you have an idea for a song that you think would make a cool cover, or you'd like to see an arrangement of it for the uke, make sure to comment on that down below. I try to make what you guys want to see, so I'm always looking for new ideas. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Now I finally found someone to stand by me. We saw the writing on the wall as we left this magical fantasy. Now with passion in our eyes, there's no way we could disguise it secretly.